and I think some good initiatives that may not be have known to all of us in terms of supports for people going through addiction or marginalised individuals in marginalised communities. Okay, next up our presenter is Jim Gavin. Jim will be known to many of you, and if not all of you, as a previous Dubs player and very successful Dublin manager. May not be known to many of you as a previous chairperson of a Citizens' Assembly, small group of us on the Dublin elected mayor, but now is presented to us today in terms of his chairperson role of the North East Inner City Initiative. And Jim, I'll warn you in advance, there's a few Mayo people in here as well, and Kerry people, and anybody else. All there. Jim, it's all yours.
Thanks, Paul, for the introduction. Thanks, Chair. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Gavin is my name. I'm the chair of the North East Inner City Project Implementation Board. Delighted to be here back again with the Citizens' Assemblies, and great to see so many familiar faces in the audience. Over the 10 minutes, I'm going to cover off what we do in the North East Inner City and talk about topics that are related to your particular assembly. As I said, I'm the chairperson of the NEIC PIB. I was appointed on a pro bono basis in May, like yourselves. I volunteer myself for this role. And our vision and aim is to make the North East Inner City a safe and attractive and vibrant living environment for the community and its families, with opportunities for those to live full lives. Picture of Sherwood Street there on the slide. Just to talk about the scope and the geographical area of the North East Inner City in terms of the PIB, the Project Implementation Board. On that map, that's the North East Inner City there. The area encompasses just west of O'Connell Street, so Marble Street, up to Parnell Street. It swings across to Clonliff Road. It just wraps around Croke Park, up to Ballybock, where it meets Fairview. Swings back down around again, around O'Connell Station, down towards the Liffey, and back again up towards Talbot Street, and joins again at Marble Street. The history of it was that it was created in 2017, and the background was that it was identified by a government task force led by the Taoiseach of the time, and Taoiseach Enda Kenny. That particular area, and it kind of ties in with some of Andy's sentiments, that particular area was lacking attention really from a government level. So Mr. Kieran Mulvey was brought in, produced a report, and based on that report from Kieran, the North East Inner City Initiative was born, and a strategic plan was developed up to 2022. Because of the pandemic, we're now rolling it out to the end of 2023. We're going through a strategic review process which will set the aims up to 2026. There are 6 groups in the task force. It covers off everything from crime and drugs to education, family well-being, enhanced well-being and physical environment, substance use, misuse and social inclusion, and indeed alignment of services. And in terms of the working groups, the strength of the North East Inner City Project Implementation Board is that it's cross-departmental, it crosses the community, and it brings other agencies of the state, including NGOs, into the mix, as you can see in the slide that you'll have available to you to review all of the various stakeholders. In terms of drug impact on the NEIC, they have had a major detrimental impact on the area. The legacy is the heroin epidemic that Andy referred to in the 1990s. There was widespread, and still is widespread, availability of drugs in the area, linked to the transport hubs in Dublin, indeed Dublin Port, and the associated intimidation, the violence, and the community, the criminal gangs who controlled that drug trade in the particular area. And from 2016, identified by Mulvey, and that has been one of the major focuses of the task force. In terms of your assembly, subgroup 5 is led by Mr. Jim Walsh from the HSE. Jim does a phenomenal job on that subgroup, and the NEIC supports a health-led approach to drug use in the area, in line with the National Drug Strategy, reducing harm and supporting recovery that was already referenced. Policing obviously is an important role, But in the long term, the PIBs and the NEIC's view is that we must treat drug use as a health issue. We need to make people safe in the communities, and it goes hand in hand with recovering from drug use. And the NEIC, and I'm going to show you now in remaining 6 minutes, the range of initiatives that the NEIC has supports to meet the health and social needs of people who use drugs in the area. The first one is our Inclusion Health Hub. This is a one-stop shop with a range of personal centred health and social care services for vulnerable groups within the area. The facilities of the outreach work, we can see the facility there in Summerhill, supports public health initiatives. There's a number of health professionals, physiotherapists, social workers, and homeless care workers in that particular facility, and there's a strong emphasis, as we can see, on integrated collaboration. The next initiative is the case management for people with high drugs dependency. This case management is a shared framework for management of the care of people who use drugs with a high complexity needs. Includes many areas, including assistance with housing, health, education, employment, addiction, mental health, social welfare, social work, and probation services. And it needs to engage with service users from drug clinics, community-based drug services, and we also have referrals and from the public services such as the probation service and the HSE. And then since 2019 to date, we've had over 800 client assessments and 18,000 sessions within the NEIC catchment area. And this, both myself and Father Peter were at a Chrysalis initiative a few weeks back. It's funded by the HSE and delivered by Chrysalis, the Community Drug Project. In terms of employment access program for people under recovery, this is called Careers Edge, and it's a focus on a program to support those to give them enhanced employment prospects for people who are recovering from substance use. And it's bridging that gap between rehabilitation and treatment support and mainstream education and employment issues. We've got a 20-week program. It offers strength and capacities. It's got one-to-one support. And the focus is really on the question of what matters to you rather than what's the matter with you. And the outcomes are that we've had a 50% progress to employment, which I think is an excellent statistic, and 40% have progress to education. And you can see one of the partners there, Ballyfermot and Chapel is a partnership. We have an assertive on-street outreach to vulnerable groups, and this program supports those people who have complex and multiple needs, and it helps them engage effectively with the support services, often for the first time, and identifies how they can achieve their goals. It's known as LEAR, the Law Enforcement Assistant Recovery, and it's again supporting people to move away from criminality and antisocial behaviours and help them on their personal journey to recovery, something which Father Peter is passionate about. The LEAR programme has worked with 380 people in the NEIC area and in the wider Dublin 1 community. And again, this is part of the Olivia project. We have a case management for people in private emergency accommodation. And again, it provides case management support to the high concentration of homeless people and private emergency accommodation in the NEIC area in Dublin 1. Again, we're offering support and care to planning for people who have issues around housing, addiction, physical and mental health, and helps them on a legal basis also. Since 2023, or to date, we've had close to 900 initial assessments with 649 offered case management services. And again, this is funded by the HSE in partnership with the Dublin Regional Homeless Executive, and again, it's delivered by Olivia. We've got a residential drug treatment service. We've got a 10-bed stabilisation unit within the NEIC. It's a 5-week programme offering for stabilisation amongst those particular areas. We've got, you need to be level 2 prescribed with GPs on clinic for on-site help on a 24-hour basis. And we also have nurses who operate under full HSE clinical governance. And again, the references must be met from the HSE clinics or the community drug services within the NEIC.
Just a minute, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And since Jan 22, you can see the statistics there. So other related drug initiatives you can see there, we've got the Healthcare Navigation Service, we have the drug-related intimidation and violence engagement, we have Frontline, we have Recovery College, and finally we have the Health Communities Project, which tackle health inequalities in the NEIC areas by building community capacity to address health issues affecting them. So you can see we've got a wide and diverse challenges within the NEIC area, and later on I will be delighted to take any questions from you. To finish off though, just want to mention one thing in terms of your work as a former chair, and I know that the current chair has been a phenomenal job, and I've been looking in and seeing the work that you've completed. And for me, I learned an awful lot about the deliberative democracy process during my journey with the Dublin Citizens Assembly. You are, I suppose, leaving a legacy for the future generations. And what I learned in my assembly was that it's the responsibility of human beings to be great ancestors. And the work that you've done, in society we often have people putting their hands out. You put your hands up, and to make Ireland a better place for us all. So I just want to congratulate you. I wish you the best in your deliberations in session 6, and Berbu August Bannett. Gurmagad.